morning, La La Land. I'm Dr. Erin.
I'm Rob Mack.
And I'm Jasmine Mouillet. Good morning, La La Land is America's first live streaming daily talk show, coming to you Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and now on Twitter.
Nice. And today we have an epic day, a transformational Tuesday. We're going to talk about placebo versus nocebo effect and how it's affecting your body, mind, and spirit transformation. And we're also going to talk to one man's inspirational story. We're going to hear his inspirational story about how he transforms celebrities right here in Los Angeles. And I think he might just have some tips for us on transforming our outfits today.
I'm all about that.
Transformation.
He might have some dance moves too. I noticed back there. It's on the back studio.
Oh yeah. Good morning. Derek Warburton is in the house, a style ambassador to the city of Los Angeles and creative director of LaLa magazine, one of the chicest publications I have ever seen. How are you today?
Oh, hey, good morning. First of all, where's the music? I was like banging it out. I was feeling it. I was feeling it. So, no, I'm good. Thank you so much. And thank you for saying that about La Palm. We work so hard on it, and it's just like, it's a 24-hour gig, but I love it so much, and it's become like such a gift in my life.
They say New York is the city that never sleeps, but I swear the people of Los Angeles don't sleep either. I mean,
you know what? And it's funny because with us, anyways, at La Palm, we work with photographers, models, actresses, actors all around the world. So trust me, I never sleep, that's for sure. And I never know where I am, really. So, so LA, New York, Milan, it all kind of mixes together, so it's fine.
Well, speaking of never sleeping, what is your morning routine here in La La Land?
Morning routine, let's see. I get up around 5, 6, and I'm automatically on emails because a lot of times it's midday in Europe. So I'm constantly working with our teams over there. And then I have a lot of trips coming up and some philanthropy work coming up too. So I'm constantly on the line with them. And then always a Starbucks run. I'm trying to do the smoothies in the morning because I have been on like kind of an herbal cleanse, and the smoothies have 270 calories at the Equinox. So I go there, and then might go to Orange Theory. It just depends on the morning, or lay around and just kind of knock around in the morning and get a lot of emails done. You know, I mean, a lot of what I do now, magazine-wise, is via email or Skype or whatever. And then some of my other businesses, you know, I have to travel a lot for, so, you know.
Wow.
It's the ground running. First thing in the morning.
Oh, you gotta get it early, let me tell you. Because you gotta get it all in, because, you know, it's so funny, like when you're in a creative field, and you all know this, it's like, and you're on the West Coast, it was such a transition. I moved here 3 years ago, and I was just, you know, New York is such a late night place, and then you leave New York City, and I lived there for 10 years, and then I moved to the West Coast, and it's so early here, and it's beautiful, and the best time in LA is really the morning. And so it was like such a transition of, now I have to get up really early to kind of still be on New York time, and so much of my business was done through there, and then of course like through Europe, like you said. So, you know, the morning routine has become the big routine in my life because that's, you know, the main time of the day for me. But you get, you know, you do all that computer work done, and then you can have this fabulous life in LA, which I love, love, love living here.
What do you love most about living in La La Land?
The weather, duh. Not today. I was like, woo, it's a little cold. And yesterday, you know, I have this amazing Gucci sweater, because obviously a lot of my life is based on fashion. And I was like, I gotta wear this sweater, I gotta wear this sweater. And then yesterday and it's so funny, because you know when you live here, you can almost smell that it's gonna be cold, even though, you know, it might be warm in your place. Yes. And so I'm like, oh no, it's gonna be cold for real. And I walked out and I was like, oh my God, it's freezing. But you know, I was in New York last week, and of course it's freezing in New York, and I'm like, oh, it's nothing, you know, and you run out and like, you know, a pair of sneakers and no socks and a fur coat, and you're good. But here, it's like a whole drama thing.
It is a drama. It's so funny because 50 degrees feels like you're like It's like, yeah, you're frozen. But it's a great excuse for like the sweater weather, right? We never get to dress for winter.
Let me tell you, and this sweater is bomb. It's like, it's got tigers all over it. It's amazing.
I mean, you had me at Gucci, babe, so.
I know, it is Gucci. It is Gucci. Exactly.
It is
exactly.
Gucci. Well, thank you so much for being here with us this morning. We're so excited to get to know more about you and your transformational journey later in the show.
Oh, this is so fun. It's great. It's perfect. Thank you.
I've got La Palme here in my hands, hot off the press, gracing the cover, Matt Lanter. Gorgeous, such a star. His wife, Angela Lanter, runs the blog Hello Gorgeous. Love her too. It's really interesting, and it's got 2 covers.
Flip it over.
Look at that! Woo!
So cool.
I love
Right?
it. That's 2
So
covers.
clean.
That's
I
actually
love it.
So
super
hot.
smart to do 2 covers.
Catherine McPhee. Ooh, what a babe!
Yeah.
What
Can't
a
go
babe.
wrong.
No.
On the cover.
No.
What a beautiful magazine.
I love
So
that.
beautiful. Yes, can't wait to talk about it more later in
I
the
love
show.
that.
So, Erin, what's going on with you?
You know, honestly, nothing. I did research all last night, so I've working on a project, and I did a lot of research on the spontaneous recovery remission project. So there's 2 projects. One is the spontaneous remission project, and one is the radical remission project. So just to not mix them up. So I've just been doing a lot of research on their 3,500 different cases of people that were basically at stage 4 cancer and so on and so forth, and had. They don't call it spontaneous anymore because they actually did particular work, so they don't want to call it that anymore. So
That's so
fascinating.
interesting. I want to hear the results
Yeah.
of the
So
study.
my life is not that exciting. I literally like lay in bed and do research and write things and
But
stuff.
to me,
so
that's the most exciting.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I'm a total nerd. Okay.
I'm so interested in healing. Of course, we had Kelly Gores on the other day, and the documentary is so interesting. But for me, those kinds of discussions around like healing and miracle is so much more interesting than a lot of the stuff that I thought I used to be into.
Right?
You know what I mean? Yeah.
That's why they'll know. Like sometimes I'm not very social sometimes because I'm just kind of a nerd like that.
You're a miracle
I'd
worker
rather
though,
sit
Erin.
in front of my computer or meditate than, I love people, don't get me wrong, but I'm definitely like, unless it has a very specific intention to it, I'm kind of not a hangout kind of person. You guys kind of are getting that.
Yeah, but you're on purpose and you're on brand. You're a doctor of divinity. I would hope, that you were focused and passionate about that kind of work, and clearly you are. So,
Thanks, you guys. You guys look absolutely
Oh,
gorgeous. I
thank
love
you.
the outfits.
And
We
don't
love
worry,
this.
Erin, I did enough socializing for both of us yesterday.
Did you?
I had a friend in from New York, Tara. She's got a great blog, Get Toned with Tara. We're going to show the interview later next week. But so we went, she was like, let's go to the Ivy. I'm in from New York. I got to do the Ivy thing. So we had lunch at the Ivy, and it was so nice. They gave us free champagne. We sat by the fireplace. It's such a scene there. Then I ended up at Craig's, had a dirty martini, spent like 4 hours sitting at the bar, people watching. I mean, what great observation.
Wow,
right?
you went to the too hot.
I know.
Right?
I was so LA last night. Couldn't even believe it. And then, part of the Focus TV family here is Rachel McCord. We ran into her sister at Craig's last night, Anna Lynn. She's got a new movie coming out, so we invited her to Good Morning LaLaLand, and hopefully we'll be able to talk more about her when
Nice.
first we take Brooklyn.
Oh, I
Nice.
love that family. I love the McCord family.
Right?
Yeah.
Talk about sort of empowered and empowering women.
Oh, yeah, they slay all day. Shout out to Rachel McCord. That's for sure.
They do indeed.
Body, mind, slay. Hashtag, right? How about you, Rob?
I was like you, Erin. I was mostly doing work last night. Nothing too interesting. I was preparing for today, knowing it was going to be cold, and I was going to be zipping around on the Vespa this morning.
Right?
Oh my God.
46
Frigid.
degrees when I got in my
46
car this
degrees.
morning.
You guys
Frigid.
are making me feel real bad about that dirty martini.
No, it's good,
In the
yes.
world that I'm drinking
You're
martinis at
working it.
Craig's.
She's not working,
Yeah.
she's working it,
Look,
right?
look, like, things happen through people, Jen,
Right.
and you're great with people, and you're a great relationship builder, and that's just as much work as anything is. Truly.
That's right. I was
Yeah.
working hard.
We're working hard on that dirty martini.
I was. And speaking of working hard, there's a really interesting event I wanted to mention happening downtown at the Ace Hotel this week. It's the Voyager VR Theater, right? Have you guys ever done a VR experience?
No, would love to.
I have just through one of my friend's daughters. Our son has a VR whole system, and I did this whole game thing, and I literally kind of felt a little ill. It was really kind of
Nauseating.
weird on the senses. I wasn't that into it. I thought it was surprising how not enjoyable it was as far as, how it made me feel.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I just thought it was really interesting for, a Transformational Tuesday to talk about really transforming your reality through virtual reality.
Yeah.
As the world's first cinematic VR experience chair, right? It's called the Voyager. So they're screening 2 films at the Ace this week through the 23rd, and one was screened, it's called Dinner Party. It was at Sundance this past year, and the other one premiered in Venice last year, Melita. So it's really interesting, and it's funny too because most of us think of VR as like something really futuristic, but these experiences, like you're going to a dinner party.
Wow.
You know, like it's an intimate experience. It doesn't mean you have to go to a new galaxy or an UFO, you know? It's like, ooh, I'm gonna sit down at these tables with these people. In fact, one of the most interesting VR experiences I ever had was at Sundance a few years ago. And it was literally this cool Tribeca loft, right, that you got to explore and look around. It was like a new world. And there was just a guy playing the piano. And it was one of the coolest things.
Really?
And there I sat freezing, you know, in Park City, Utah. But really, I was like transformed into this New York loft. It was really neat.
I think it'd be cool if you're actually sitting like in a chair and doing it. I was the same. I went to Italy in this VR like game thing, and you're moving around, and it was really hard on the senses. But I think it might be better if you're sitting. Like, I don't know. Be interesting to try it like that.
Be a little more grounded,
right?
stable.
A little bit more grounded.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm certainly going to go downtown and check that out this weekend.
When is that, Jess?
It's happening right now. It was from the 19th, so it started yesterday. It'll be running through the 25th downtown.
Oh, cool.
And
I'm excited for our event tonight that we're going with our producer for angel funding, and we're just kind of learning about startups and funding, and I think it's going to be interesting so we can talk about it tomorrow on Wealth Wednesday.
Absolutely. So it's essentially like a Shark Tank, right? So we're going to go and we're going to watch these 3 different companies pitch their ideas to potential investors, and we're going to take all the insight and learn how to make business for ourselves, which I'm really excited about, actually.
Super excited.
Just to get a glimpse into that.
Awesome. Well, and I don't know all about it, but from what I understand, in the last 2 years, the whole startup industry's changed, because it used to be where people had to be accredited, or they had to be worth over $1 million, and now anybody can invest in startups. So it's a whole new world kind of opening up to so many people. So my son's been interested in it. I've been showing him the pitch deck. We're kind of like learning all about it, because I think it's really probably the wave of the future as far as business goes. I think startups are going to be the biggest way to do business.
I will be very quiet and I'll be taking copious notes.
It was really interesting because I get those newsletters from Daily every day, and it said, you don't have to know all the answers. You just have to ask questions. And that's what I'm so excited about tonight, is to really just be able to sit, observe, and ask the questions to the people who are the experts in business, because I think that's what holds me back sometimes from being able to, you know, make a new opportunity for myself, is because I feel like I have to know all the answers. But really all we have to do is have a community of the people who have the answers.
That's right.
And grow together.
That's right. So speaking of transforming your body, mind, and spirit, transforming your money, your health, your love, all the above, we're going to come back in the second section and talk about the nocebo and placebo effect and how that's affecting your beliefs and how it's transforming your body, mind, and spirit. So stay tuned, you guys. We'll be right back.
Welcome to the Focus TV studios in West Hollywood. I'm Jezza Moye, host of the Focus TV network show, LA Unscripted, and co-host of America's first live streaming talk show, Good Morning, La La Land. This is the Focus Magazine preview show in an exclusive sneak peek. Today, I have the privilege to announce the March 2018 issue of Focus Magazine, and we're calling it the Influence issue, featuring amazing personalities making a difference in our local communities. On the cover, we have singer-songwriter and host of Chasing Glory podcast, Lillian Garcia. I had the extreme honor of both interviewing her and writing a feature for the magazine on Lillian. She's truly an influencer on so many levels. Joining her on the cover is my spiritual influencer and co-host of Good Morning, La La Land, Dr. Erin Haskell. And with her is a true professor of influence, Amanda Russell. Also featured in this issue, we have the constructional chef, Scott Harris, executive chef from the Four Seasons Hotel right here in Beverly Hills, Byron Thomas, and 2 members of the Focus TV family and dynamic duo of lifestyle influence, Janet Gunn and Melissa Myers. Also in this issue, we feature Lauren Everts, the founder of the Skinny Confidential, hello gorgeous, and the candle makers Elise Fratto and Maylene Weber of Leone Candeli, which is of course right over there. And Cynthia Abbey Naked, who I interviewed for my show LA Unscripted, and she is the founder of a great piece of functional jewelry from the Coley Collective. We also have a celebrity chef, Serena Poon, and her new product, Just Add Water, in a series of 4 mom influencers from our millennial mom herself, host Jenna Barnett. It's all influence, influence, influence in this issue of Focus magazine. Get your copy today on newsstands or online, and be sure to watch our companion video features as well, because we are the only magazine in the country providing a robust video complement to our print features. I'm Jessamine Moyer, coming to you from the Focus TV studios in West Hollywood. Thanks for watching. Live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. We're so excited that you're with us today on Transformation Tuesday. We have a very special guest in the house, Derek Warburton. Good morning, Derek.
Good morning.
Derek, fabulous.
Yes, I've heard that once or twice.
Well, I mean, as the style ambassador for the city of LA, you should have a title that goes along with that, right?
I completely agree. I completely agree. If, you know, I have friends that are always like, if there's a sash, a crown, or a title, he'll show up. That's kind of my life. I was like, what is it? Oh, no, I don't want to do that. No.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about this queen that is gracing the cover of La Paul magazine, Katharine McPhee. Gorgeous. Tell me about the shoot.
Okay, so, you know, I wanted to do something with her because, first of all, I was obsessed with Smash. And I was like, you know, and I kept kind of watching her and looking. I mean, it's so funny because you know how Hollywood works. It's like you put pitches out, you see who's around, you see who's available, you see what projects are going on, what people want to promote. And she had a brand new album coming out called I Fall in Love Too Easily. And then, of course, you know, all the David Foster stuff started. So it was like, you're really starting to see her a lot.
Yes.
And I love Smash, and I go, oh, wouldn't it be amazing if we did this old kind of cabaret feel with her? And we had just come off of Ariel Winter, and we did a transformation with her, Transformational Tuesday, and we made her kind of a Betty Page. And that did so well for us. That was international news. She looked beautiful. I love Ariel. And actually, I was with her last weekend with her boyfriend. And so, you know, for Katharine, I wanted to do something in the same vein because, you know, we're building. We've just relaunched this 2 years ago. Funny enough, just with what you were just talking about, Annalyn McCord was on my first cover.
Really?
Yes, and I was literally at her movie premiere in New York last week. So I was like, oh my God, that's such a funny coincidence. And so for Katharine, you know, we wanted to do something that was just very chic, beautiful, but also modern and fun at the same time, and kind of a little more elevated than kind of what she did on Smash. So the shoot we did, I think back in November, or the beginning of November, end of October. And we brought in a photographer named Enrique Vega, who's doing Vogue covers and all these amazing projects. And so, you know, we kind of went to work on it, and it was just an amazing day. She's fun, she's really easy. She sang all day on set, and she exclusively wore Mr. Warburton, my fine jewelry line. And it was a fun day. I mean, we had a good time. And, you know, these shoots for us, it's so passion driven that, you know, I get really intense on set, and then you have a moment where you're like, oh my God, we got it. It was amazing. So we had a great day.
You certainly got it. Thank you so much for sharing that story. We're so excited to get to know more about the magazine and your journey later in the show.
So excited. I love that cover. So gorgeous. So today is Transformation Tuesday, and we always try and pick a topic to kind of have some keys, tips, and takeaways to take back into your life. And I just thought, you know, transformation, I'm on there researching all this stuff, and I'm researching the remission projects and all that information. And it was, of course, very clear that the nocebo and placebo effect played into these spontaneous remissions. So let's talk about placebo versus nocebo. And I only learned about this like a few years ago. It wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, you would think that it should be common information at a very young age.
Right.
You know, but it's not.
Right. So placebo effect is basically where you take a sugar pill and a regular like pill, and they do studies, and they find that people have, you know, anywhere from 18 to 80% the same effects of what you would take as a pill versus just believing that you're taking a pill.
That's right. So if you believe in a fake drug, it still works.
Right?
Yes.
Wow. Right? Incredible. So nocebo effect is the same as far as negative. So say, for example, they give you a sugar pill, Jazz, and they say, this is going to make you maybe get constipated or something like that. And all of a sudden, whatever side effects, it could be pain or you might feel nauseous or whatever. And again, 18 to 80% of the people will find that they experience whatever they're told may be negative side effects.
Wow.
Yeah,
right?
and sometimes they don't even have to tell you what the side effects are. They'll just say this is a particular drug for depression or for epilepsy or whatever, and you'll still experience side effects.
Right?
Yeah.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
So the point is that there is a power in the mind, right? And so this article by Psychology Today, which is always, we put the notes, in the notes we always put the link to the article. And it's done by Lisa Rankin, who wrote the book, Mind Over Medicine, and it's scientific proof of how you can heal yourself. So I was just thinking about how important this is for, if we're talking about transformation in our lives. So on a body level, on a mind level, on working out level, on money, everything. A lot of times we have to, I'll never forget somebody telling me when I was thinking about money and abundance, they said, hang out with people that are like worth 10 million and up and experience that lifestyle and know that that's possible. Or same with health, right? When you go to the gym, you watch people and you hear their stories and you're like somebody who goes, well, I was only, I was weak, I was whatever, and now you see their bodies and you think, oh, it's possible, but it's possible for them.
That's
so
right.
So for you guys, knowing whatever, I don't know how this played out for you in your lives, but I'm sure in many ways, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, at the heart of the placebo effect and the nocebo effect is self-fulfilling prophecies, right? And so what you believe has an incredibly powerful effect on how your life turns out in all kinds of strange and interesting ways. And sometimes you can't see the ways in which it's playing out until you're way down the road. Right, so it's played out for me in a billion different ways.
For
I
sure.
mean, in terms of
For
a
sure.
book, in terms of TV stuff, in terms of health stuff. I mean, it's mind-blowing, really.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's really interesting, though, because in this article at psychologytoday.com, it also mentions medical hexing, right? And I find that, especially here in America with Western doctors, they feel like they're giving it to you straight, right? They're telling you, this is what's going to happen, and you have this chronic illness, and this is all the side effects or whatever. But because they're a person in power and have a certain authority, you trust that, right? And why wouldn't you? But then it's almost like it's hexing you, because in your conscious and your subconscious mind, then you've listened to this person and you've said, okay, this is my reality.
Right.
You've just nailed it, Jez. I mean, and that's sort of the deeper issue and challenge here is that at all points in time, a doctor, an individual is believing one thing or the other. Right, so it's not like in most cases they're not fully present. Their mind is full of a story about whether or not you're going to turn out well, or the prognosis is good or the prognosis is bad. And even if they try to sugarcoat it, their most authentic and realist thoughts and feelings about it come through in their nonverbal behavior and their nonverbal language. And
For
so
sure.
they tell you, this is. Even when they're explicit about it and say, oh, this isn't good for you, doesn't look good, you should be worried. That, of course, is going to have a very immediate effect and a profound effect. But also, if they don't say that, but deep down inside they just believe that still has an effect on you.
For sure.
Yeah.
As Dr. Chopra says in the Heal documentary, he says, believe the diagnosis, do not believe the prognosis. And I think it's like we talk about healing but let's not even talk about that. Like, let's just talk about like transforming our bodies, like getting more in shape. A lot of times we believe whatever our parents, whatever their patterns were, oh, well, I must have the same genetics as my parents. And they found that is not true at all. That your DNA does not, it is like 5% of what is actually happening as far as your ability to lose weight or something like that.
That's absolutely right, Erin. And it's so interesting in my experience. So I have a friend, my buddy Doug, and he is such a great guy. And I remember one time he said something to me like, Rob, I just believe that I'm getting shredded and more ripped and more toned every single day, and that I can eat anything I want. And I would watch, and I'm like, it's actually happening, right? And I remember thinking, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to actually believe that. Now, I was still watching my food and portions and all that stuff. But I will say, without any question, the more I became convinced of that story and stuck to that story, the more ripped and shredded I got with less effort and less energy. And so what you believe and what you think is deeply impacts how your body turns out and your health and all those things.
Absolutely. when I got hurt 4.5 years ago and I hurt my hand, the doctor said, you know what, we're probably going to have to amputate your arm.
Whoa.
The diagnosis is not good. The prognosis, worse, right? And these are several doctors saying this, and it's something I didn't want to believe. And I thought, oh, I'm going to, give my own prognosis on that. But it was certainly very interesting for me because I felt like I wasn't in line with what they were telling me and what their course of treatments was. And for me, I'm so grateful I listened to my intuition in that, and I stuck to my guns and said, no, I will get better. I will heal in a way that you don't even expect. But it's certainly like an uphill battle, and we're like this all the time, you know?
That's so profound, Jessalyn. And the one thing we know, of course, from positive psychology research is that optimism is the most important factor in positive health outcomes, right?
I don't even know if I was optimistic, because as much as I was just determined not to accept that reality for
that's
myself.
Enough.
That's good.
That's enough.
So good. Well, and we want to give a shout out to doctors, knowing that not all doctors are giving, bad prognosis. I think that it's evolving, and I think that the entire Western medicine is transforming, literally. They are finding proof like this, and they're saying, wait a second, maybe we shouldn't give it that prognosis.
Yeah, and doctors, they're in a tough spot because they want to be responsible, and they don't want to give false hope, and they don't want to have lawsuits and things for malpractice because they told somebody they were going to get better and they didn't.
Right.
So they're in a tough spot, but there's a way to communicate optimism and hope, and still be accurate in terms of the diagnosis itself.
Right. And so the point is today is that if you are looking to transform your life as far as your body or your mind or any area of your life, money, whatever that may be, if you don't believe that it's possible, the most important work that you do is your belief system. Before your all-to-do list and everything else, spend time with people who inspire you, that you have seen them accomplish the goals that you want to accomplish. Believe that it's possible before you do anything. It's so important.
Oh, it's just critical. And I think we talked, in one of the episodes, we talked about the Ellen Langer sort of research study at Harvard that she did. She's a Harvard researcher. She basically took men in the 60s and 70s, put them in an apartment building, told them to pretend they're 30 years younger than they are.
Really?
She set back all the clocks, all the appliances. She had the newspapers delivered as though it was 1960, even though it was the 90s or whatnot. And what she found was that men that weren't growing hair started regrowing their hair. Their blood pressure went down. If they had high blood glucose levels, they went down. Their eyesight improved. All these incredible sort of indicators of aging reversed themselves.
Dysfunctions went away.
Yeah. It was. I mean, it's mind blowing. And actually, I don't know where they are now, but they were making a movie out of it. And I think they were pitching it to, I think Jennifer Aniston was supposed to play the part of Ellen Langer.
Very cool.
We'll see, yeah.
I can't wait to see it. So you guys, I'm so excited. So know that we believe in you. That's the entire point of this entire show is LaLa is about dreamers, doers, and how about it? So today, we believe in you. So transform your life. It's all possible. So we're going to take a little break. When we come back, we're going to go to the back studio and hear one man's inspirational story of him transforming celebrities right here in La La Land. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hello, Los Angeles. I am your host and producer, Alex Worley, filming inside Focus TV's West Hollywood studio. Welcome to Empowerista, a show dedicated to highlighting female trailblazers and empowering you to turn your barriers into breakthroughs.
Hey guys, I'm Amy Paprath.
And I'm Justin Walter.
And this is What's Good, the show that's dedicated to positive, uplifting stories from all over the globe.
Welcome to Good Morning La La Land. I'm Dr. Erin.
I'm Rob Mack.
And I'm Jessalyn Moye.
And we're making history as the first live streaming daily talk show.
This is where all kinds of shit happens.
Monday through Friday, we are going to be streaming to you live, Los Angeles, at 9 a.m. Pacific time on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
Hi everyone, welcome to the Alyssa Goodman Show. So Kelly, welcome.
Thank you for having me, Alyssa. This is so fun.
I know.
What's up, Rose girls? I'm Jessica Carroll. Today we're gonna have so much fun because we have fitness personality Katie Austin.
Hey,
we're
thanks for having me on.
with
Cheers.
Katie Austin.
I love it. It
Cheers.
feels like a Saturday.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Millennial Life. I'm your host, Laura Odegaard, and today we are joined by the very beautiful former Miss California and now a TV host, Natasha Martinez. I'm so happy that you're here.
I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Of course.
You are tuning in to Slay with Rachel McCourt, and I have a fabulous guest
In studio with me is Liza Glukoff. She's just been named executive producer of programming at Awesomeness TV. I mean, no big deal, but huge. Hi.
Thank you. Hi.
Are we so excited right now?
We are so excited.
I mean, we have roses, we have perfect lighting, we've got some Spa Girl vodka in case we get a little crazy.
Hey, Dr. Erin here, teaching universal law and spiritual truth, having a conscious conversation in the heart of Hollywood. And I'm honored to have the guest today, who is Christina Pascucci, who is amazing. Thank you so much.
Oh, it's an honor to be here with you. I so appreciate it.
Hi, I'm Jenna Barnett with Millennial Mom on Focus TV. And today I have Jennifer Yen here today to chat with me about all things mom related. So you actually started your career as an actress and you were on the very famous TV series Power Rangers, right?
Yes, I used to fight them as my first career.
You're watching Beige Bay TV. It's fitness expert and your Beige Bay Edwina Chia. Ladies and genticles, Tiffany Angulo. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. You know, you're my Beige Bay of the week, not only because of your nationality, but because you just seem like the girl who does it all.
Hi everybody, I'm Allie Landry and welcome to Reshape TV. I have created an online platform, reshapelive.com and Reshape TV, to provide a place where women can learn from the very best resources for those of us who are striving to reshape our lives and live an optimal, healthy lifestyle.
Hey LA, I'm Gwen Lane with the LA Girl, and I'm here with Liz Hernandez, former TV host at Access Hollywood and now the founder of Wordiful. So excited to hear more about that. Liz, thank you so much for being here today.
Hi, Gwen. Thanks for having me.
Hi everyone, it's Michelle Gillette, life coach and host of the Spotlight series on Focus TV. And joining us today is our dear friend, Shalini Videra.
And thank you for having me.
Of course.
I'm so happy to be here.
You're the perfect person to be here because we love anything that is, you know, women helping other women, women empowering other women.
Hi, I'm Janet Gunn here with Focus TV for my segment of Fearless Females. And today I interview Doriana Richmond. You're gonna love listening to Doriana. Not only is she beautiful, but she's so heartfelt and she has created this amazing jewelry line called Stone Symbol. Hi.
Oh, thank you for that introduction.
Yeah,
Wow.
of course. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Hi, and welcome to Everyday Game Changers, the show that features people giving back to their community. I'm your host, Annalise Getz, and today we are joined by Rolanda Watts. Rolanda is a stand-up comedian, she's an actress, she's a television personality, and she is a philanthropist, which is why she's here today. So thank you for joining us, Rolanda.
Thank you for having me. A joy to be here.
Today on Moms Matter, we're going to talk about money, 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 something that we all struggle with and we need help with, and that's why we have the fabulous Winnie Sun, who's here with us today.
Aw, thank you.
Thank you so much. I know you've been on MSNBC and Forbes, and you are the money expert.
Hey everyone, welcome back to a new magical episode of Soul Reboot. I am your host, Allison Charles. Please welcome and meet this powerful divine queen whose name is Daphne Wayans. I am so happy to be here with you.
I'm so honored to be here. Live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. We are so excited to be celebrating Transformation Tuesday with Derek Fabulous himself.
All I know is the bling.
Oh,
like,
I know. Talk about transforming your life, right? Exactly. A little bling, and it's all available for sale, I can tell you right now.
Tell us about the lawn.
So, you know, I have a great group of girls that I work with and I've been friends with for years, and I've met in various different places. And I was tired of selling everyone else's jewelry. You know, and I would sell a lot of jewelry. And I was like, well, why aren't I doing this myself? And, you know, a lot of my suppliers, and I work with factories in Asia and in Thailand and everywhere. And they were like, what are you doing? Like, that just doesn't make sense. And you have a built-in brand. You have a magazine. You know, I'm traveling everywhere doing all these different things. And they were like, you should really make the jewelry work for you. So I am. And it's been fantastic. I love it. I love it, and I want to wear it all too. So
Right.
it makes it, no, but literally I'll go to a party and I'll know some, you know, like a friend or whatever. And this just happened in, I think, November. I was like, I brought a ring for you, and I was wearing it on my pinky, and she's like, okay, boom. And it was like rose gold with diamonds. It was like $15,000, and then swipe, boom. Let me tell you, the square is my friend. I live on the square.
Well, that is
for
interesting
sure.
because as we transform our lives and we give our creativity to the world, some things monetize very easy, and some things we have dreams that take a long time.
No,
to,
let me tell you,
know.
thank you for mentioning that, because everyone thinks everything's so easy. You know, they all watch my life and they're like, oh, wow. And I'm like, the hustle is real. You don't even know. You know, the magazine business makes no money. So I have to monetize things. And, you know, you have to, this is what I speak at a lot of schools and to underprivileged women, as you know. And I am all about, you must live your dreams. Figure out the money. You could work at the Starbucks if you live in your dream. And that might be your dream, but you know what I'm saying. Like, I think it's really important to focus on the fact that if you don't live your dreams, you're not going to feel fulfilled at the end of your life. And, you know, and we're in a new generation now where you have no security. It doesn't matter what you do. And everyone, you know, it's, you know, in times past, it would be like, go get a job. This is a solid job. Become a plumber. Become this. Become that. You will always work. And that's not the case anymore. You know, I mean, we hear about people at Ford Motor Company or wherever, and they're getting fired right before their pension is due. And they think, oh my God, I've had this job. This is so good. And then they're out of a job and they've worked 30 years at a career and they just, there's nothing left. And they're like, God, I wish I had. And so now I tell this new generation, you need to live your dreams and everything else will happen for you. And it's just a different world anyways. We live in a different world and it's become so amazing because you can live your dreams and figure it out other ways, where for so long it wasn't like that.
One of my favorite Instagram posts of yours was this really cool photo, and the caption was, star in the movie of your life.
Amen, honey. Amen.
And you are starring in this movie.
That's an understatement, and a lot of other lives too, let me tell you. You know, I wanted to, listen, I grew up homeless. A lot of things have happened. I had a very, very, very tough beginning. Abuse, everything you can imagine. And I survived all of that. And now, you know, when people ask me why I put myself out, I mean, I kill myself working. And I do it and like charity stuff, and I'm going to Africa this year for clean water, and I do everything because the child that I was deserves the credit for staying alive. And that's how I feel about it. You know, it's like I stayed alive.
What was the
and I owe it to
for
that
you?
childhood, because, you know, a lot of us don't recognize where we came from and what we did. We're trying to close that off. We're trying to close that off. And yes, I have done that to a point, but at the same time, I want to honor the child I was, because if you never do, you can't honor your current life and your life and your future. And it's really important to me.
How'd you get through that? I wonder about that, because you're obviously such a resilient, ambitious overachiever, right? And not everyone that comes from that not everybody that comes from that background ends up so resilient. Some people do, some people don't.
You're right.
What was it for you that made you
I
that
desided.
resilient? You just made a decision.
I decided.
Was there anybody in your life that helped you make that decision?
So many, actually. You know, I work with the Union Rescue Mission here in Los Angeles, and which is part of my style ambassadorship for the city. And we do these artist brunches a couple times a year. We do them in New York too. I've done them in New York for years and years. And so, you know, we go to this brunch and we're chatting, and have the woman there that's from the mission, who is the publicist, who actually had lived there, met her husband there.
Oh, wow.
And she was going through recovery, and they got married at Union Rescue Mission. She is a real life hero. She's my hero. And so we did this brunch, and we were just talking, and I was telling my story, and then she got up there and she said the reason why she made a change is because she was sick and tired of being sick and tired. All of us in our lives can make a decision to change our lives, but you have to make that decision and stick with it. Because if you don't, you're gonna fall. You're always gonna fall. You know, it's like, you know, so many, I have friends that have been in recovery for years, and they were sick and tired of being sick and tired, and they made that decision, and so they changed their life.
Yeah.
And it's really important to be able to recognize, number one, and write down, or whatever you need to do to see what will make the difference. And you know, when I have goals, I write things down. I'm like, I need to do this, I need to do that. And I have dreams, you know, and we can only do a little bit every single day, you know, but when you put things down and you make a decision and you know where you want to go, it's so much easier to drive there, isn't it?
There's a great book by Raymond Charles called The Power of Decision, and it was, you know, he wrote it, I don't know, before 1950s, I don't know what the date was, but I totally agree that it really is a decision, and we may have some great mentors, but those mentors don't come into our life until we've decided.
And sometimes you don't even know they're a mentor.
No.
Right? And you don't even know, maybe it was like a fleeting relationship or whatever, but if you are not the type of person that doesn't learn and grow from every single experience in your life and every single person in your life, that will never happen for you. But if you are, I'm the type of person, even in horrible, horrible situations, I see the best and grow from it. Because the best thing you can get from any situation, whether it's great or bad, is knowledge. And I take my knowledge and I build on top of it. And I, frankly, have taught myself to be smart.
Right.
And I use every single thing I have. You know, it's a lot of people in my life, they always laugh at me. They're like, oh, for God's sakes. You know, and I'm like, yeah, but I have this and I have this, but why don't I blend this together? And, you know, I always have a lot of projects going. And so what I do is I swerve and swirl them, and that's how I build my success, and that's how I continue to grow, because I don't limit myself with, oh, I'm doing this, and then I'm doing this. And because I'm a person with a lot of projects always going on, you know, I have a magazine. We have to fill 150 pages of good ideas that will inspire others and show off others. So it's really important. Oh, here we go, here we go.
Speaking of, this was one of my favorite editorials.
Oh, it's beautiful.
In this, let me make sure the camera sees it, and see the light, right? And it's talking about empowering women through fashion. I love that that's happening right now, you know, with the whole Me Too, Time's Up movement, the white roses, wearing black on the carpet. Do you feel like the whole world of fashion is changing and evolving?
Well, honey, I wrote that headline, so yes. Headline. Yes, I do. And, you know, I think, here's what I feel has happened. And it's going to get a little drawn out, so I'm just going to tell you. So when the malls happened in the 80s, this is deep. When the malls happened, it started to homogenize us all. Because it was so much more about individuality in the 60s and the 70s, right?
Right.
That's where great fashion came from, really. And so when the 80s started and the malls started, it turned into this homogenization of fashion and lifestyle, and this is how we live, and this is what we're doing, and we can't have enough. Now, the web has come. The malls are done. It's turning again. So things like Etsy are more popular than ever. And all of these individuals are starting to shine. Mark my words, mom and pop will be hot again. It's going to be about mom and pop being individual, hence what has happened to fashion. And we're seeing it now. People are starting to look different. But you know, I was at the movies the other night, and I saw 3 men with the same coat from a very popular store. And I'm like, oh, that coat again. My God, really? Come on.
Or in LA,
But that's the
happen.
point, the homogenization of it all. You know, it's like, and then these guys are going to start seeing, they're like, I don't want that. Everyone else has that. Everyone has that. And you know, when I get clients, I was a shopper, a personal shopper for a long time, and that hence, you know, a lot of projects, and it's a great business. But every time I would sit with a client, the first thing they say to me, I don't want to look like everyone else. I don't want to see myself walking down the street.
It's so interesting. My favorite quote is, if you want to make a difference in the world, you need to be different from the world. And I just love that. How do you help people do that? How do you help people get in touch with their own signature style, their own authentic sense of fashion?
I'm very authentic, obviously, and I'm very different. I had to fight for me because no one would open a door. They still don't. But I fight and I fight and I fight and I come up with different ideas. And you know, people don't see that of my life because they see what I put out there.
They see your movie and it's fabulous.
But you know what I mean? Yeah, but I still have to fight. And you would think every door would open now. Oh no. No. It's still a fight. It's still figuring it out. So I think it's really important that people honor themselves within. It's the same thing all over again that we were talking about earlier. If you don't honor your own individuality, you never will be an individual because you're always trying to fit in. We don't live in a world anymore that you have to fit in. You just don't. Look at Black Panther. You know, I watched this amazing interview yesterday with Lupita and the other lady with the shaved head, right? It was great. They were on The View. And they sat there talking about how they will never fit in. But now they're in a position to make people think about them as individuals and create projects for them as individuals. Because, you know, as Lupita said, I'm sure there aren't a lot of people sitting there writing a role for an African girl to play in a comedy. Right?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Right.
Makes sense. And I loved that. And I was like, but now, again, just like the mall, that's all filtering away.
The times are changing.
Now,
yes.
But that's the point. So now it is about becoming an individual. And if you do that, you really push that, you're ahead of the curve. Because the middle is still there. You know, they're still homogenized a bit. Because, I mean, you don't even have a Zara in Middle America yet, for God's sake. So, no, but do you see what I'm saying? So I think the positions we're in media and have a voice and have a magazine or whatever we do is the moment to tell people, because that's the platform we have, to be themselves, to grow on their own, to feel good about themselves, to love themselves. You don't have to be a size 2 and you don't have to be a size 22. You could be anything and still be beautiful. You can still be relevant. You can still go out there and push yourself. You can still be an inspiration. You can still help others. You know, I can't express that more or enough because everyone thinks you have to put all this time in and everything. And I was like, you know what? You could respect someone on the street.
Right.
Yes.
And so
you could have a suggestion. You know, I was walking the other day and I saw this man in New York City and he was just broken down. And I said, why don't you go to the Doe Fund? That's an organization in New York that I used to work with. And they take in men off the street, but they've created jobs called the Men in Blue. And they clean the streets of New York. And it's organized. And they've done a phenomenal job building that out. And also they take kids that were in foster care that have aged out, which is really important.
I love that.
But you need to be armed with knowledge, again, in order to help. But you can give a little money. It's nothing. But the money isn't necessarily solving an issue. It's a Band-Aid. You know, and it's about helping. And you could drop off clothes to every shelter because they need them. How are they going to go back to work when they don't even have an outfit to interview in?
So true.
We have to take a little break. But I love your story. It's so inspirational. I had no idea that you were homeless growing up. That's incredible, and all the different things you're up to. So when we come back, we want to hear about what's going on now, what you're looking forward to, and we want you to give us some tips for being
My
that
life
individual,
is full of tips,
whatever, right?
whatever you need.
So stay tuned, you guys. We'll be right back.
Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to This Week in Focus. I am your host, Victoria Simone, bringing you some of the highlights of what was filmed last week at the Focus TV network, which is America's first video streaming talk show network. I have my girl today helping me out,
Josie Moye, co-host of Good Morning LaLaLand. Tell me about This Week in Focus.
All right, well first up, let's actually talk about the newest issue of Focus magazine with Lillian Garcia on the cover. This amazing woman is a singer, songwriter. She's a host of her own podcast, Chasing Glory, and she's a WWE alum. She was also on your show. Last week on the Focus TV network, we shot Moms Matter, hosted by Shirin Yadigar. We had Shift Happens with Matt Galan and psychic Michelle Mache. Aside from our normal lineup, we had Good Morning LaLaLand, who was on your show.
We had Get Fit with Katie Austin, Vance Soto of Ola Henriksen Spa, and Ali Levine of Stripped. Of course, we invited Lillian back to the studio and gave her the cover here.
Thanks for tuning in to This Week in Focus. I'm your host, Victoria Simone. Jez, thanks for helping me out. Bye-bye.
I'm Jessica Moye, co-host of Good Morning La La Land, America's first live streaming daily talk show with one of my associate producers, Victoria Simone.
Hey girl, what happened this week in La La Land?
In case you missed us live, in La La Land on Monday, we got a fashion pass and we had 138 water with some of Maxim's finest. Tuesday was Van Soto, owner of the Ola Hendrickson Salon, and we got fit with Katie Austin. On Wednesday, we were lights, camera, action with Arian Alexander, and on Thursday, it was an incredible honor to have Lillian Garcia, who graces the cover of Focus magazine, here in studio. What? Friday, we got stripped with Ali Levine, and we got a look into some of the LA's top restaurants with Tammy Saffron of LA Chefs.
Yes.
It was a great week in La La Land.
Bye-bye.
Welcome back. We are live in Los Angeles on #Transformation Tuesday. We want to know more about your journey, Derek, and how you're giving back. You're on your way back to Africa, ambassador of Just a Drop.
I am. I'm going to be in Africa in May, and I'll be visiting a site. I was in Nicaragua last March, and it was a life-changing, humbling experience. You know, I've worked with the homeless for over 10 years in the U.S., helping women get back to work. I do I do Bottomless Closet in New York City. Literally last week I was in New York dressing women, and we went on Good Day New York to talk about the entire experience and how it's so easy to give back because they're in Manhattan. I was like, you can drive up in your Louboutins, hop out the taxi, somebody will come down and pick up all those clothes you don't want anymore. Done. Easy. Easy helping.
So tell us about that. What does it mean by Just a Drop? Like, how can we make a difference by Just a Drop?
So Just a Drop is an organization. It's based in the UK, but they work worldwide. They work in Cuba. They're working in Uganda, where I'll be going later this year. They have many sites going in Nicaragua, which is where I went. And Nicaragua is the third poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, and I landed in Managua, and then we went 150 miles out, and let me tell you, it was pretty raw. It was pretty raw. It was, even being homeless in America, nope. You could go to the Burger King and go to the bathroom in America. There's nothing for 150 miles. So I met women who were 75 years old walking 5 miles 5 times a day to get a bucket of water for her children, her grandchildren, her family, the dog, the livestock. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And you have to know it's 95 degrees and humid. I was like, oh my goodness. It was hot. It was very hot. It's not young people, it's the women that are there working because the men have to work to farm to get food. And I think the most traumatic but yet uplifting experience while I was there was we went to this school, and it was in a village. They had no water, nothing. They were walking miles and miles to get water, and clean water. That's the difference. And so I'm at this school, there's no bathroom. There's zero sanitation. They're going in the woods. They're doing what they can. But they're all in these little school uniforms. And it's kids, it's probably like 13 to 8. And I met this young girl who couldn't have been taller than 3 feet. And both hands cleft. And just a lot of issues. And then I meet her little brother who couldn't walk and literally dragged himself, but they were at school every day. And I didn't cry because they deserve so much more respect. And we spent time together, we were trying to communicate, and I just couldn't do anything but hug them when you just want to save them. And so I got on the plane and I just cried all the way back to the US. It was really tough. It was really, really tough. And 2 months later, I get an email from the woman who started the organization. And she said, and the little documentary we filmed raised enough money to build them running water. So the entire village, and I bawled my eyes out. It was amazing. It was just such a blessing. And again, so humbling that just a trip could change a life, and I was able to use my platform, because I will tell you, I was embarrassed the entire time I was there, thinking these people are saving lives and I'm cutting ribbons. It just, it didn't feel right to me, you know? But the fact that we were able to do that, and I do have a platform, and we were able to raise money from that, that was amazing. It made me feel so good.
This is the entire reason why we want to do the show, because I think so many people can look at a magazine like that or look at you and think, oh, these are just superficial, materialistic people, right?
Yeah.
And they don't know that this is what goes on behind the scenes of, you know, some fashion, and people that are, most people that are up to big things are also giving back. That is the common denominator that we found.
I just feel like I don't have a choice.
Right?
In my life. You know, so much of what I do, and like we were talking about earlier, you know, I honored the child I was, and I stayed alive for that child. But I also want to honor the life that I'm going to have. And I want to look back someday and know that I tried as hard as I could. Of course, I'm trying to build my own future, my own life. I want to be comfortable and wealthy and all of these things. But at the same time, if you don't have a full, well-rounded life, it's going to be really difficult for you. And I never wanted to look back and think, oh, I coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Right.
I never will do that with anything. That's why I have so many projects going all the time. And I probably have a much easier life if I didn't. But it doesn't matter.
Right.
You know, and these are just small things. I went to Nicaragua for 5 days, and I did some talk shows. That's what I did.
And you
but
saved
I was able to
500
save
lives.
500 lives from doing that. Okay, you know, not everyone could work at that level. You know, some people can work at a much larger level, and some people could work at a one-on-one level. But it's so important to give back, and we can't forget the blessings that we have. We live in the United States. We are free. How we were talking earlier, I can make a decision and make it happen. That's not everyone's lives. It just really isn't.
I'm so grateful
It really
for that
isn't.
opportunity, LaLa. And we have a special gift for you.
Oh my gosh, a gift.
It's just it's called
it's a coin.
Karma coin. It's all about giving back, and you're already doing all this.
Oh, that's amazing.
And it has a little code on it, so when you do an act, whether it be saving a life or giving a cup of coffee, you can actually track the stories on that website, and you can watch the butterfly effect of where it goes.
Oh, wow.
So it's just a project.
Wow, I love it. Oh my
forward,
God.
right? And you're
See,
already
now
doing
Derek
so many
Fabulous
things.
would say, can I boil this down and make a piece of it? I know, I'll make a necklace out of it. Duh, right? That's so funny.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me on, by the way. And,
Absolutely.
you know, listening to my story, I think it's really important for people to learn and love and be who they are.
Right,
I
for
love
sure.
that you
Thank
represent
you.
that.
Yeah.
I love it.
Thank you so much for all your work.
Thank you for having me.
We look forward to seeing many more covers of both sides of it.
On newsstands now. On newsstands now.
It has a cover.
Oh, exactly. And if you get bored on one, you flip it.
I love that. So exciting. Thank you so much. On tomorrow's show, we have the creators of Leone Candelli and a very special guest. This is Good Morning LaLaLand, streaming to you live Monday through Friday on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and now on Twitter.
Have a great transformational Tuesday, you guys. We'll see you tomorrow for Wednesday, and we'll have all.
I need a mimosa. Where's my coffee cup?
It's time.
Come on, I need more smack.